Hey guys, today I'm doing another Q&A. This time I think it's less law school related, but still has some law school questions. And then some real life or my actual life questions, because I do have a life outside of law school. Not currently, but when I'm on break, I do. So we're just going to jump into it because I have a lot of questions. So a lot of these are coming from my Instagram DMs, and then some are coming from Snapchat. I just recently created a Snapchat for my YouTube. So if you want to follow me on that, I'll have it on the screen. It's just lipsticks lattes. First question is from Maddie Hoover. Do you and Jessie fight, and if so, how do you get over them or make up? Me and Jessie really don't fight, which I don't mean that in a way like, oh, we've never gotten into a fight. We've definitely gotten into fights, but me and him are both kind of the people that like we know what pushes each other's buttons, so we just don't do that. And when we get into a fight, it's literally like 10 minutes and then we're over it, and it's always over something stupid. I think we've only gotten into a fight like 3 or 4 times over something like that wasn't just like a joke, and it was over in like an hour. We are just both really sensible people, and I don't read into what he says to me, and I don't look for fights. Like, I don't pick fights. And I think a lot of the times that couples fight a lot all the time is because one of the parties likes to pick a fight, and we just aren't like that. We're really mature, and we're really just like nonchalant people. Like, we don't fight. Next question from Tiffany Crespo is, how do you start your semester in order to be ahead like you are? I started my semester by being ahead because your professors, I'm assuming it's like this at all law schools, will send out the syllabi before the semester starts. Like, it'll be posted on their websites or whatever. So the week before school starts, I do the first week of school's homework. So the second week of school, I'll be doing the third week, and so on. Just as long as you get ahead the first week, then you're set. Or if you want to start like middle of the semester, you just have to do 2 weeks of work in 1 week. Like, if you think about it on a calendar, like it makes sense. The next question is, do you think having a dog in law school is a bad idea? No. I mean, people make it seem like law school, like you're never going to come home, you're never going to see your house. I would say it's not a bad idea to have a dog. Like, don't get rid of your dog, but I wouldn't go out ahead and get a dog now if you're starting law school, like in the spring. Or don't get one in the summer if you're starting in the fall, because puppies, you have to be home a lot. And for law school, like, probably you won't be home during the day much. Like, you'll be home probably around 5 and after, but your dog will have to be alone like all day. It's kind of like a 9-to-5 job. So having a puppy with a 9-to-5 is hard. So I wouldn't advise going out and getting a dog, but if you have a dog, don't get rid of it. Michaela Rose asked, what is your go-to everyday perfume? Currently, I'm trying to get rid of all my body sprays and perfumes because I have so many. So I use Victoria's Secret blush as like an all-over body spray, and then I use Viva La Juicy as my perfume. I don't know if that makes me a middle schooler, but I love the way it smells. It's like kind of like not musty, but it's sweet, but it's not like overpowering. And then I like the rose perfume from Urban Outfitters. It's just like a straight up rose smell. And then my really like go-to perfume is just Chloe, because it smells like clean laundry, and I freaking love that one. Gwen Louise says, how do you motivate yourself to look so put together every day? I look like a hot mess half the time, LOL. I am just the type of person who likes to look nice. I don't like to go to school or go to work looking like crap, because I feel like then I do less and I don't want to like be productive. I just feel better with makeup on. If you don't care about makeup, there's literally no reason to wear it, because in law school, like, no one's going to judge you for not wearing makeup, or no one at your job will judge you for not wearing makeup, probably. I mean, unless you work at Sephora or something. I just like to wear makeup and I feel better with it. Carter Sully said, what is your favorite undergrad course that you took? And that is a really hard question because I took so many classes. I had this one professor. I had 2 professors that I really loved and who really, really like made my undergrad experience so amazing. So I had one professor, Fitzgerald, that I took like 15 classes with, I feel like. So any class I took with her was my favorite. I loved criminal law and I loved controversial criminal cases with her. And then my other professor, whose last name was Ryan, taught this not community policing. It was like policing and something about criminal justice and policing, and I loved class with him. Really great classes and just very informative, and I obviously love to learn about criminal justice since that was my major, so any class that had to do with that was really my favorite. But my least favorite class, I will say, was alcohol, drugs, and crime. I thought it was so fucking boring, and the professor literally made it like the most boring class, and she was really mean. Like, not mean like here's a lot of work, like she was like a mean person, so that kind of ruined it for me too. The next question from Crawford May is, what type of music are you into? I listen to literally every type of music, but other than like the top in like 50 or whatever, I listen to all the pop and rap and whatever's popular now. But I also love older music like Billy Joel, Elton John, Pink Floyd. Like, you probably wouldn't think I'd be into that, but that's like one of my favorite genres of music, just like some older tunes. Love them. And then I also like things that I listened to in like middle school, like The Rocket Summer, Taking Back Sunday, All Time Low, who else? Simple Plan, Green Day, Blink-182, and then I love Lana Del Rey. Any music that's kind of like that indie pop, I love. And I love Milky Chance. I think their music is so good. It's like totally indie pop, alternative, whatever. But I love all music. Megan Renee had a question about my Steve Madden slides that I always wear. How is breaking them in? Did you get blisters? Breaking them in was really easy, but I feel like you should size like half a size down because they did stretch out. And no, I got no blisters. They're really comfortable and there's no problem with blisters at all. Mel402 says, do you and Jessie plan on moving out soon, or do you like living with your parents? By the way, love your style and accent. Thanks. I didn't even know I had an accent, but thank you. Me and Jessie do plan on moving out. Like, obviously, we're not going to live with my parents forever, but we're just kind of waiting until I graduate law school and I have, like, a sustainable income. I do have an income now from YouTube and sponsorships and stuff like that, but, like, we're not going to move out and rent an apartment. Like, when we move out, we just want to buy a house. And we're not going to do that until I graduate law school. And also, like, I do like living with my parents. I have no problem with it. Jessie doesn't have a problem with it. So, like, why fix what's not broken? But also, like, when you're in law school, if you don't have an income, you either have to take out loans to move out or you have to ask your parents for money. And I'm not going to be asking my parents for money to move out, and I'm not taking loans to move out. So I'm just not going to do that. Nicole Grant says, what kind of engagement rings do you like? Oh, girl. I love the cushion cut rings with a halo, high set, because I want it to, like, stick off my finger a lot. But yeah, cushion cut, definitely, with a halo. That's exactly what I want. I don't have any other requirements, but that's what I want. That's always the type of ring I liked. Cushion cut, halo, high set. Kenzie Binford says, how many countries have you been to? What was your favorite? P.S. Love your videos. Keep me super motivated. Thank you. I have never traveled out of the country. I'm really not a traveling type of gal. I don't love to travel. I'm a homebody. So me and Jessie do plan on traveling more, like, in the future. But as for now, I've never been out of the country. I would assume my first vacation out of the country will be like Aruba or Bermuda or some sort of, like, vacation like that. So yeah, I've never been out of the country. Does that make me a huge loser or what? Gab Spurlock says, are you engaged? No, and people ask me this all the time. This is a promise ring from Jessie that I got in 11th grade. So I think that was like 5 years ago or something. I don't know. But yeah, I've had this promise ring for a very long time, but no, I'm not engaged. How is life different post undergrad? Life after undergrad, I guess it would be a lot different if I had a job, like if I just used my bachelor's degree to get a job. But life after college, when you're in law school, like, isn't that much different. It's just like you have less free time, and that's really it. It's like kind of the same. You just have way less free time than college. I'm going to stop saying names because it's like taking up way too much time for me to try to figure out what they are. Sorry. This question is, hey Grace, what are your plans once you finish your law degree? Do you plan on staying local or moving somewhere new? Love your videos. Thank you. That was Peach knocking everything off the windowsill. After law school, I mean, I do plan on moving out, but me and Jessie don't want to move, like, far away. We're going to stay, like, in the county that we're in. Probably move, like, farther south a little bit towards the city because I do plan on working in the city. And Jessie also owns a company here, and he will eventually be owning his dad's company, which is here as well. So we really couldn't move far away because both of his companies are here. So we are going to move, but not far. Amanda, right, I'm not saying names anymore, sorry. Give a background on how you and Jessie met. This is kind of a funny story. I started dating this guy, Matt, in 8th grade, and we dated for like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 months or something. And we broke up in like August. So then in September, I was in 9th grade at this point. In September, I went to the mall one day. This is what we did in my town. We went to the mall and we walk around. Like, that's all you did as a teenager. Like, you just walked around the mall at night. So I went to the mall and Jesse was there with 2 of his other friends, and he was like, I think he said like, hey, you're hot, or something like weird that you would say in 10th grade, because he was in 10th grade at the time. So I turned around and he was like, oh, are you Matt's ex-girlfriend? And I was like, yeah. And then we started talking, and it's been history ever since. No, but me and Jesse dated for like 2 months in September, and then I like broke up with him because I was like so awkward, and I didn't want a boyfriend. I was like way too socially awkward to be having a boyfriend. And then we dated for another 2 months, like I think in the end of my freshman year, and I broke up with him again because I was just like too weird. And then the end of my 10th grade, so I was 16, we started dating April 16th, 2011 is when we started dating, and we haven't broken up since. So I really don't count our other 2 relationships because they weren't real. Like, we never hung out at his house or my house. We literally only hung out at the mall. It was weird. It was like a relationship like when you're in middle school. So yeah, that's our story. Isn't it so romantic? How long have you and Jessie been together? 6.5 years, and it'll be 7 years in April. Bree Murray, I'm not doing names. What made you want to go to law school and be a lawyer? I answered this in my last Q&A, so I'll just give you a little brief overview. We learned about Supreme Court cases in my AP US history class, and I was really interested, and we watched the movie The Paper Chase, and ever since then I knew it. I just had to go to law school, and here I am. What is your favorite self-tanner? I love the St. Maurice tanner, which I get at Ulta. It's basically an exact dupe for St. Tropez, and it's $16 for the big one as opposed to like $50 for the big St. Tropez. How would you describe your aesthetic, and do you miss being super into planning? My aesthetic is just like plain, like if we're like talking colors, like gray, blush pink, and black. That's my aesthetic. I don't really know what my aesthetic would be. It's definitely not girly, but it's not grunge. It's just like regular. I don't know. I've never been asked this question before. I don't even know what it means really. I'm not like hip with the times. If we're talking about other people's style who I can relate to, Alexandria Garza, Lydia Millen, and this blogger Macy Stuck. All 3 of those are like my exact style, except I dress like shit because I don't own any of those clothes. But if I had those, that's what I would wear. And I don't miss being into planning. I mean, I feel like it was just like a money sucker. Like, my money just got sucked out of me. And I just don't have the time, and I just write a to-do list, and that's it. Who are your favorite YouTubers? Love your vlogs. Thank you. My favorite YouTubers are, like, at the moment, Kiki Chanel, Chow Bella, Alexandra Garza, Lydia Lise Millen, Christina Brawley. I would say those are my top 5. Can you do a video all about your favorite investment pieces, clothing, shoes, handbags, jewelry, etc.? I think it would be a very interesting video. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea, and I should do that because I recently got a bracelet, an investment bracelet, which I'm wearing right now. Right here, it's the Hermes Click Clack in black and gold. I bought it used off eBay. It was super cheap because it was like scratched up and stuff, and it didn't come with a box or a dust bag. And I have a Louis Vuitton bag I could do. Yeah, I definitely could do that. I don't have any expensive clothing. I'm definitely more into investing on like jewelry and handbags, but I will definitely do that. That was a good idea. Thanks. Did you find that as you continued on with your academic career, you lost a lot of your social life? If so, how do you deal with it? Definitely. I definitely feel like the second I started law school, I lost like 100% of my social life. One, because I don't like to go out during the week because I feel like it messes up my sleep schedule and messes up just like my schedule of work, sleep, work, sleep, you know? Like if me and Jesse didn't live together, I would literally never see him. So it definitely messed up my social life. I don't hang out with my two best friends, Corey and Martina, who you may have seen in like other vlogs. I don't hang out with them anymore because I'm always at school. I kind of deal with it just by like every few weeks. Like I just make a point to hang out with them, like push my work aside for a few hours and like hang out. And now that the break is coming up, I'm going to be hanging out with them all the time to make up for lost time. I just kind of deal with it. At first it was really hard. Like in September, it was really hard for me, like seeing them always hanging out and doing stuff and me like not being there, like FOMO. And also I was like sad about it. Like, look at my friends, like they have this life and I don't have a life. But now I'm just so used to it. I'm like, I'm working towards this goal and I have to make this sacrifice to get that goal. And also, when you're in law school, you'll make some friends who are in the same boat as you. I've made two other great best friends in law school who were in the same boat. So, like, I can relate to them in the sense that we both, or we all, don't have a social life. The next question is, I just got accepted into law school and I got accepted into a couple law schools and was wondering what helped you decide on attending your specific one. Also, what's your favorite place to shop for winter clothes? My favorite place to shop for clothes in general is H&M. I love H&M, and also recently Romwe. This sweater's from Romwe and I've worn it like 8 times. So comfy, and everything from Romwe is really cheap. The only thing you just got to worry about is sizing. I would suggest sizing up like 2 sizes if possible because it runs really tiny. Then for law schools, I only applied to one law school, which is the law school I'm going to. It was my top choice law school, and I said, fuck it, that's where I'm applying, and I did not apply anywhere else. I applied like January 1st, like whenever it opened up, I applied, and I found out in February that I got accepted. So if I didn't get accepted, I knew I was going to get accepted to the school, like with my grades, my score, my letters, and whatever. But if I didn't, I still had ample time to apply to other law schools. But this was the only law school I applied to because it's really the only one I wanted to go to. How come your parents don't mind Jessie living with you? I don't know. I guess because I'm the only other person who lives in this house. And it's Jessie. They always say it's like the son they never had. Jessie's so helpful around the house, like fixing stuff, carrying heavy stuff. I don't know, like shoveling the snow. Like he's just really helpful around the house, and my parents love him. And it's not like he's like a nuisance. We're not like up all night like fucking raging, partying. So they don't even know he like lives here. It's like, I don't know. There's just no problem. I don't know how to answer that. How do you manage your time usually? I think I also answered this in my other Q&A, but I basically just follow the same schedule every day. Get up around 7, get ready, go to school. During my 3-hour break at school, I do homework. When I come home from school, I do about 2 or 3 more hours of homework. Then I relax, go to sleep, and do the whole bitch again. Like, there really isn't much else to it. Sorry these answers are like so short, but it's like I don't really know what else to say. I just don't have a social life, and I don't do a single thing during the week that isn't school related or YouTube related. Would a shy, quiet person be able to cope with a law degree? Love your videos. Thank you. Yeah, totally a quiet, shy person could have a law degree. I'm very shy, especially at first, and there's nothing in law school that I've had to do so far that's like really given me like social anxiety or anything. Obviously you're in a new setting, so that might be hard for people who are like shy and quiet, but it's really not hard. I feel like undergrad was harder for being shy and quiet because in undergrad there was only like 30 people in my classes, so I talked a lot more. And in law school there's like 60 people in my classes, so I don't talk much at all. And then being a lawyer doesn't mean you have to appear in court and litigate and stuff like that. Like there's other types of law where you literally can stay in your office all day and never have to speak to anyone, you know? So I think it works out perfectly for quiet people. Okay, now moving on to Snapchat, and I'm only going to answer like 2 questions because I think I have like 30 minutes of footage. How do you and Jessie manage your busy schedules? Well, I already said what my time management is, and Jessie works from like 7 to about 4:30, and then some days he works like 7 to like 10. It just depends on like what jobs he has to do. So he doesn't really manage his time. He just does what he has to do, and that's like it. Jesse's like a very, very hard worker, and if he has to work from like 6 a.m. to 12 at night, like he will do it, no questions asked. So That's just how he is. What is your overall experience with your first semester of law school? I think I'm going to do a whole video about this, but I loved it. I loved every single thing about it. It was so much better than I expected it to be. I learned so much. I really loved it. And it wasn't that bad at all. But I will be doing a more full video. Oh wow, this is a long one. What is your favorite drugstore foundation? L'Oreal Pro Glow 100%. It's amazing. Now that you're almost done with your first semester, if you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice starting as a 1L, what would it be? That's a good one. My advice would be don't let other people scare you, because so many other people tried to scare me, even people who didn't go to law school. I'm like, first of all, what the hell do you know about law school? But like, you're gonna have no social life, you're gonna have no friends. It's gonna be like eat, sleep, breathe, and do homework. You're gonna have so much reading, you're gonna be up all night, you're gonna live in the library. Like, it's so hard. Everyone fails their first semester. Like, none of that is true. If you have time management, you can still do all of it. And I've never stayed up past like 10 o'clock to do homework. It's reading, yeah, but it doesn't take long because I'm like a really fast reader, but in general, like, it's not as hard as they make it seem. And don't listen to their stupid, like, not advice, but just little comments. Like, it's gonna be so terrible. Like, no, it's not. Don't listen to them. That's all the questions for today. I can't believe I got through all those questions. Hopefully I gave you good answers and this video isn't too long, but I really wanted to make sure to get through like everyone's questions, and I think a lot of them were kind of the same. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you aren't subscribed. And as always, my Instagram, Twitter, and my Snapchat will be linked below. Make sure you follow me on there because I'm much more active on those social medias than here, obviously, because I don't upload every single day. But so thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!